Ad Council.
Go.
Welcome back to Rhodes Stadium. Alabama getting set to take on Ole Miss, game number 3 of this 3-game series. Bama won game number 1 4-0. Game 2 yesterday 5-1, looking for their first series sweep of the year after claiming their first series victory of the season in conference play yesterday. Here is the DCH starting lineup for the visiting Ole Miss Rebels. The starters are presented by DCH Health System. DCH Health System has been providing quality and compassionate health care in West Alabama for nearly 100 years. DCH is a champion for your health and proud supporters of the Crimson Tide. Ole Miss is 21-17 overall, 3-11 in SEC play. They are now 9-5 in true road games on the year. They've lost 2 in a row, and they've lost 9 out of their last 10 for head coach Jamie Traxel. Jayla Lassiter will lead things off, facing Kayla Beaver in the circle for the Crimson Tide. The first pitch to Lassiter is fouled away for strike 1. Lassiter playing center field. Left fielder Jaden Pone batting second. Lexi Brady, the catcher, bats third. Ainsley Furbush, designated player, batting fourth. Batting fifth is the first baseman Paige Smith. Annie Orman, the right fielder, bats sixth. Batting seventh, Delaney Rummel, the third baseman. Second baseman Angelina De Leon bats eighth, and batting ninth is the shortstop Ryan Starr. The 0-1 pitch to Lassiter is bunted, and that checked up. I believe that hitter, home plate umpire, did not make that call, but now all the umpires get together to talk about it. If that came up and hit her, it's a foul ball. And, yeah, that definitely hit her. So we'll see what the umpires get together. And I think they're going to ask whether or not Patrick Murphy wants to review it, because I don't think any of them are going to say that it hit her. It definitely did hit her, so Murph should definitely review this one. And Murph's like, I can't believe you didn't see that, but all right. We're going to get our first review of the game right away. This replay review brought to you by the University Medical Center with 6 locations in West Alabama. University Medical Center provides comprehensive health care for you and your family. Call 205-348-1770 for an appointment. Kayla Beaver is in the circle for the Crimson Tide. Beaver with a 1.34 ERA and a 12-3 overall record. 22nd appearance and 18th start. She has 9 complete games, 104 in the third innings pitched, 68 hits, 27 runs, 20 earned, 39 walks, 111 strikeouts. Opponents batting 184 against the right-handed graduate from Jackson, Tennessee, the transfer from Central Arkansas. Got the complete game shutout in game number 1 against Ole Miss. So it is a foul ball. Upon review, they overturn what was a base hit into a foul ball. Lassiter will head back with an 0-2 count. In game 1, Beaver went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, no runs, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Lassiter batting .346, 44 of 127, 23 runs scored, 6 doubles, 2 triples, a homer, and 22 runs driven in. 2 for 8 so far here in the series. We'll step back in with an 0-2 count. Beaver looks in, and the 0-2 pitch. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Defensively for the Crimson Tide, Jenna Johnson in left, Kristen White in center, Lauren Johnson in right. Dowling at third, Cahalan at short, Hevlin at second, Broadfoot at first. Valentine behind home plate, catching Beaver, and Clark, your designated player. The 1-2 pitch, outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Umpires for today's ball game, Ronald White is behind home plate. Dave Reneker at first, and Philip Friels, the third base umpire. We've already heard from the crew chief, Philip Friels. Alabama won their first review challenge of the day. Beaver looks in, the 2-2. No, a timing violation called on Beaver before the pitch was thrown. It would have been strike 3, but instead Beaver did not go into her disengagement into the windup before the pitch clock hit 0. And that is the correct call, unfortunately. Payoff pitch now. Hits the inside corner for a called strike 3. Beaver gets the strikeout anyway, and there's 1 down. Well, a very eventful at bat there for Jayla Lassiter, but she ends up being the first strikeout victim of the day, and there's one gone for the Rebels here in the top of the first, and that will bring up Jaden Pone, left-handed hitting left fielder for the Rebels. Infield playing in on the slapper. The first pitch is high and tight for ball one. Pone batting .339, 38 of 112, 21 runs scored, 4 doubles, and 11 RBIs on the season. 2 for 7 here in the series. The first inning is presented by Barclay GMC of Tuscaloosa. For over 42 years, Barclay makes it easy. Online at barclaygmc.com. That pitch is in there for a strike. Held off on the slap. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on. Just underway here in the top of the first. No score between Alabama and Ole Miss. The 1-1. Right in there for a strike. 1-2. Alabama leads the all-time series 67-7 over Ole Miss after yesterday's 5-1 Bama win. Here in Tuscaloosa, the Tide has won 6 in a row and leads the all-time series 35-2. The 1-2 pitch is low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. In regular season conference games, Bama holds a 66-6 advantage, and the Tide is looking for their 18th regular season series sweep over Ole Miss all time. The 2-2. Hit went too far around on the check slap. Strike 3. Pone's down on strikes, and back-to-back strikeouts for Kayla Beaver start things off here in the first inning, and that Tide strikeout, like all Alabama strikeouts, brought to you by Barclay GMC of Tuscaloosa. For over 42 years, Barclay makes it easy. Online at barclaygmc.com. Jamie Traxel having a discussion with Ronald White following that call. So now Lexi Brady will step in. 2 outs, nobody on. First pitch. And that's a liner to right, and that's going to fall fair ground for a base hit. Lauren Johnson gets it in quickly. So that's going to be a 2-out single for the Ole Miss catcher, keeping this first inning alive. Brady just went with that pitch, took it opposite way down the right field line. So Ole Miss has a runner on, and Ainsley Furbush steps up. Furbush, the designated player. First pitch. A little bit high for ball 1. Furbush batting .344. 32 of 93, 6 runs scored, 5 doubles, 3 homers, and 21 runs driven in. 0 for 6 with a walk. A couple of strikeouts here this weekend. The 1-0. Furbush with a fly ball to right field. Johnson has the beat on it, makes the catch for out number 3 to retire the side. The 2-out hit does nothing for the Rebels here in the first inning. For Ole Miss, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We played a half inning. Ole Miss 0, Alabama coming to bat here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. We move to the bottom of the first inning. No score between Alabama and Ole Miss. Here is the DCH starting lineup. For the homestanding Crimson Tide, the starters are presented by DCH Health System. DCH Health System has been providing quality and compassionate health care in West Alabama for nearly 100 years. DCH is a champion for your health and proud supporters of the Crimson Tide. Alabama, number 14 in the nation, 28-8 overall, 5-6 in SEC play. They're now 15-4 here at the Rhodes House on a 2-game win streak. 2-0 in this series against Ole Miss for Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy. And his lineup looks like this. The center fielder, Kristen White, will lead things off with Kinley Cahalan, the shortstop, batting second. Jen Johnson, left field, batting third. Bailey Dowling moving up to the 4-hole. She's the third baseman. Batting fifth is Callie Hevlin, second baseman. Batting sixth, Emma Broadfoot, the first baseman. Batting seventh, the designated player, Kendall Clark. Lauren Johnson will play right field and bat eighth. And batting ninth is the catcher, Riley Valentine. They're facing in the circle for Ole Miss, the right-handed junior from Dandridge, Tennessee, Caitlin Riley. The first pitch from Riley to White is low for ball one. Riley with a .261 ERA and a 4-4 record. 20th appearance and 10th start of the year. She has 3 complete games. 61 2/3 innings pitched, 64 hits, 31 runs, 23 of those have been earned. She's walked 25, struck out 47. That one's outside, 2-0. Opponent's batting .268 against Riley on the year. She's making her first appearance on the weekend for the Rebels. The 2-0 is a called strike, 2-1. Defensively for Ole Miss, Pone in left, Lassiter in center, Orman in right, Rummel at third, Starr at short, DeLeon at second, Smith at first, Brady behind the plate, Riley pitching, and Furbush the designated player. The 2-1, White slaps that one foul, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kristen White batting .348, leading the team in batting average. 16 of 46 with 9 runs scored and an RBI on the year. Here in the series, she's 2 for 6 with a couple of runs scored. The 2-2. Slapped at it and missed. Foul tipped in the glove for strike 3. White chased one low and away. Came up empty, and there's one gone. The first inning is presented by Barclay GMC of Tuscaloosa. For over 42 years, Barclay makes it easy. Online at barclaygmc.com. 1 out. Kinley Cahalan, the shortstop, steps in, left-handed hitting. First pitch. Right there for a called strike. Cahalan batting .308, 32 of 104, 16 runs scored with 6 doubles, 2 triples, 2 homers, and 21 runs driven in. The 0-1 pitch. Low and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. This weekend, Cahalan is 2 for 7 with a double and 3 RBIs. Couple of strikeouts. Cahalan off the end of the bat to third base. Rummel makes the stop. The throw is in time, and there's 2 away. And Cahalan has an extended conversation with Jenna Johnson before Johnson will step in. Jenna, the right-handed senior, batting .256. 21 of 82, 31 runs scored with 3 doubles, 5 homers, and 16 runs driven in. First pitch is a called strike, 0-1. Jenna 0 for 4 with a couple of runs scored, a couple of walks, and a hit by pitch on the weekend. A couple of stolen bases as well. The 0-1. It's the low part of the zone. No balls and 2 strikes. Jenna, I don't think, agreed with that call. The 0-2. That's too far outside in the river. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Today's weather and field condition report brought to you by the Cook Museum of Natural Science. Discover something amazing at the Cook Museum of Natural Science in downtown Decatur, Alabama. For more information, visit cookmuseum.org. The 1-2. Outside again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. A pitcher perfect 75 degrees at first pitch. Under sunny skies. Wind blowing out up to 9 miles an hour. Absolutely Chamber of Commerce day here in Tuscaloosa. The 2-2. Ground ball to short. Ranging to her left, making the stop, and the throw is Starr to get Johnson, and that'll do it for the Crimson Tide here in the first as they go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left. We played an inning, 0-0 between the Rebels and the Tide here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The second inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. We head to the top of the second inning. No score between Alabama and Ole Miss. 2 up for the Rebels here in the second. Smith, Orman, and Rummel, 5, 6, 7 against Kayla Beaver back out in the circle for her second inning of work. Rebels got a runner on in the first inning, but Lexi Brady stranded at first. Ole Miss, despite only scoring 1 run this weekend against Alabama pitching, has only been set down 3 times all weekend long. If you're Beaver, you'd love to do that here with 5, 6, 7 due up, starting with Paige Smith, the right-handed senior, batting .234, 29 of 124, 22 runs scored with 11 doubles, 4 homers, and 20 runs driven in. First pitch, and there for a strike. Smith this weekend is 1 for 7 with a run scored. The only run of the weekend for the Rebels. Scored an unearned run yesterday. Bama's 5-1 win. It's a ground ball to second. Evelyn makes a stop in the throw, and there's one away. Brings up the right fielder, Annie Orman. Junior righty, batting .295, 13 of 44, 7 runs scored with 4 doubles, a homer, 10 RBIs. This is her 11th start of the season. She's now appeared in 29 games for Ole Miss. First pitch, called strike. Second start of the weekend for Orman. She's appeared in all 3 games, is 1 for 3 with a walk. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. .200 down the lines, .220 to straightaway center field. The dimensions here at Rhodes Stadium. 6-foot wall all the way around in the outfield. The 0-2. Orman with a fly ball to center field. White calls everyone off. She'll make the catch, shielding her eyes from the sun. Next to the giant Script A in center field, makes the catch, and there's 2 gone. Now we'll bring up the third baseman, Delaney Rummel. 2 outs, nobody on, no score, top second. Rummel batting .252, 29 of 115, 12 runs scored, 5 doubles, a homer, and 15 runs driven in. First pitch, a little outside for ball 1. Rummel 0 for 5 with a walk on the weekend. The 1-0 is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Been a tough go of it for Ole Miss in conference play. Started off the conference slate with a series victory at LSU in Baton Rouge. LSU number 2 in the country at the time. But since then, the 2-0, high, 3 balls and no strikes. Since then, the Rebels have dropped 8 straight in the conference, being swept by Georgia and South Carolina. And Bama looking to complete the series sweep here this evening, or excuse me, this afternoon. The 3-0, right there for a strike, 3-1. They'll have their non-conference weekend next weekend, and they'll host Western Kentucky. The 3-1 is a little bit high for ball 4. So after getting 2 quick outs, the walk issued to Rummel. And once again, Ole Miss with another base runner. We'll bring up the second baseman, Angelina De Leon. De Leon batting .205, 18 of 88 with 10 runs scored, 4 doubles and 10 RBIs on the year. First pitch on a check swing. Valentine has it and will not have a play. That worked out to be a swinging bunt and an absolutely perfect placement on an swing by De Leon. And now Ole Miss has runners on first and second with 2 out. The check swing, she didn't do more than a quarter swing on and ended up placing it perfectly down the third base line. And we'll bring up the shortstop, Ryan Starr. First pitch. A little high for ball 1. Starr batting .183, 13 of 71, 17 runs scored with a double and 3 RBIs. She's 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts on the weekend. The 1-0. Ooh, just missed. Maybe a touch low, 2 balls and no strikes. And Bailey Dowling comes to have a word with Kayla Beaver. And they'll check down. She didn't go on the swing. So 2 balls and no strikes on the 9-hole hitter, Ryan Starr. The 2-0 pitch. Pulls back the bunt, takes a strike, 2-1. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Tide trying to keep the Rebels off the board, keep the game scoreless here in the top of the second inning. The 2-1 pitch. Called strike on the outside corner at the knees, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. And that one slapped to, past the shortstop to left field. And the base hit for Ryan Starr now loads the bases with 2 outs. Rummel to third, De Leon to second, Starr to first, and now Jayla Lassiter steps to the plate. Leadoff hitter for the Rebels is 0 for 1. She struck out her first time up. Sophomore from Atmore, Alabama. First pitch. Ground ball to second. Hevlin's there, makes a stop in the throw for out number 3 to retire the side, and Alabama continues to live dangerously, but keeps Ole Miss off the board here in the second inning. For the Rebels, no runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 3 runners left on base. We move to the home half of the second inning. It's still 0-0 between the Tide and the Rebels here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Alabama. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the university and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the university.
We head to the bottom of the second inning. No score between Alabama and Ole Miss. The second inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. 4-5-6-2 up for the Tide here in the second inning, facing Caitlin Riley in the circle for the Rebels. Dowling, Hevlin, and Broadfoot, starting with Bailey Dowling. Third baseman steps in. First pitch. Low for ball one. Dowling batting .287, 25 of 87, 10 runs scored, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, and 14 RBIs. That triple came this weekend where Dowling is 3 for 6 with 2 RBI, or 2 runs scored and an RBI. There's a called strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Win blowing out to left center field. The 1-1 is a high chopper up the middle, and that's going to get through for a base hit into center field past the diving star from short. And Bailey Dowling gets the first base hit of the ball game for Alabama here to lead off the second inning. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Kinley Pate enters the ball game to run at first base for Bailey Dowling. Pate, the sophomore from Northport, the transfer from Samford, will be on first. She's now appeared in all 3 games this weekend and has scored a run. So she'll stand on first with Callie Hevlin stepping to the plate. Bama trying to break open the scoreless tie. First pitch. Hevlin puts a bunt down up the middle. The pitcher has it, and the throw is going to be, no, not in time, as it was bobbled from De Leon, covering from second. And Hevlin reaches first on the error. Riley got the ball, hesitated for a moment as De Leon was a step slow covering on first, and her throw was errant. Trying to hold on to the bag. De Leon thought she'd made the catch, but first base umpire Dave Reneker says that she was bobbling it. And now we have a replay review, our second of the game. First one challenged by Ole Miss, as Jamie Traxel says. I want to have another look at that one. And wow, okay, so she catches it, snow coned, and she's laying, and she has the glove on the ground, and the ball is laying simultaneously on the ground and in the glove. So when she picks it up with her bare hand, that's when the first base umpire said she was bobbling it, and the call is going to be safe. I think this is going to be tough to overturn. And it won't be. They're going to uphold the ruling, and that will be an E4. Putting now runners on first and second. So Hevlin will be awarded a sacrifice. Reaching first on the error. Pate is on second, and now Emma Broadfoot steps in. First and second, nobody out. Alabama with a chance here in the bottom of the second inning. Broadfoot squares around a bunt, pulls back the bunt, and it's low and inside for ball one. Broadfoot hitting an even 200 on the year, 9 of 45 with 5 runs scored, a double, 2 homers, and 10 RBIs. 0 for 1 on the weekend with a sacrifice bunt. Getting her first start of the weekend. That bunt is down. Riley has it. She will throw to first. This time caught by De Leon. But both runners move into scoring position. Another sacrifice is successful. And there's one out now for Kendall Clark. Clark, the designated player, batting .322, 19 to 59 on the year, 12 runs scored, 3 doubles, a triple, a homer, and 8 RBIs. And the first pitch is a fly ball, deep center field, back, way gone! 3-run homer for Kendall Clark off the scoreboard, and the Crimson Tide leads it 3-0. Kendall Clark demolished that one to left center. Give that girl a big hat as the Crimson Tide takes a 3-0 lead. That Bama home run is brought to you by the Bryant Museum, located on the UA campus just across from Coleman Coliseum. Open every day, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. except Mondays. Access online at bryantmuseum.com. First round tripper of the weekend for Alabama, and it gives Alabama the 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the second off the bat of Kendall Clark. Lauren Johnson steps in, the first pitch in there for a strike. Johnson batting .311, 14 of 45, 13 runs scored with 2 doubles and 8 RBIs on the year. The 0-1 outside, 1 ball and 1 strike for Clark. Home run number 2 of the season, and RBIs 9, 10, and 11. Bama makes Ole Miss pay for the defensive miscue. One of those runs is unearned. Johnson with a one-hopper off the third baseman. Starr picks it up, but will have no play, and Lauren Johnson is on first. We'll see how that one scored. It was right on top of Rummel. She got a glove on it, but could not bring it in. And that's going to be ruled a base hit. I think I agree with that. So now, runner on first, 1 out. Riley Valentine looking to add to what is now a 3-0 Alabama lead. Valentine, the catcher. First pitch. Bunts this one down third base line. Rummel has it. The throw is going to be just in time to get her. Johnson moves to second on the sacrifice. Third sacrifice of the inning. You don't get a chance to get 3 sacrifices very often. There was an error on one of them. So now there's 2 outs with the runner on second, back to the top of the order, and Kristen White. For the sophomore from Phoenix City, Alabama. Taking off is Johnson, she'll still third. As Starr was a touch late covering with Rummel crashing in on the bunt. And Lauren Johnson steals third. Bama, in addition to the home run, playing some small ball here in a 3-run second inning. The 1-0. White bunts that one foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Johnson, that's her 8th stolen base in 12 attempts. The 1-1. White fouls that one off on a slap. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alabama's head coach is Patrick Murphy. He's in his 26th season as the Alabama head man. He's in the third base coaching box with a Alabama head coaching record, 1,266 victories, 363 losses, a .777 winning percentage. The 1-2. White slaps that one to short. Starr has it. The throw is in time to get White for out number 3 to retire the side. And we wait to see on the replay whether or not there is going to be a replay review, and does not appear as though Patrick Murphy is going to make a challenge. But Alabama here in the second inning takes the lead on a 3-run homer by Kendall Clark. 3 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. We played 2. It's Alabama 3, Ole Miss nothing here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. And bring the flavor to your next softball tailgate with chicken, biscuits, and fixings, all by ordering ahead on the convenient Bojangles app. It's bow time, y'all. We head to the top of the 3rd inning. Alabama with a 3-0 lead over Ole Miss off the 3-run homer by Kendall Clark in the 2nd inning. Due up for the Rebels here in the 3rd. It'll be Pone, Brady, and Furbush. 2-3-4. Kayla Beaver back out in the circle for her 3rd inning of work. Pone is over 1. She struck out her first time up. Junior from Hope Mills, North Carolina. The transfer from Longwood will start things off for the Rebels. Finishing off the coaching staff for the Crimson Tide, assistant coach is Kayla Bro. Lance McMahon, the pitching coach. The hitting coach is Adam Arbor. Coordinator player development, Ryan Iamurray. Director of softball operations is Jaden Spencer, affectionately known as Ribs. Athletic trainer is A.C. Atinka. Strength and conditioning coach is Michelle Diltz. Sports information director, Nathan Sheehan. Video director is Scott Moyer. Assistant video director, Lindsay Garcia. Stu Moore, the equipment manager. Sports nutritionist is Brianna Leonard. And our staff photographer is Kent Gidley, who is on a plane heading back from Arizona. The Alabama men's basketball team scheduled to land around 3 o'clock here in Tuscaloosa after acquitting themselves very well in the Final Four yesterday against a UConn team that certainly appears to be the best team in the country. But Alabama was right with them. Very proud of the team, what they were able to do during this run to the Final Four, the first ever in program history, and certainly hope and think it will be the first of several Final Four appearances. The first pitch to Jaden Pone will go foul down the 3rd baseline. No balls and 1 strike on Pone. For Ole Miss, their head coach is Jamie Traxel. She's in the 3rd base coaching box. She's in her 4th season in Oxford. Assistant coach is Daniel Nicolason. Pitching coach, Carl Golan. And the assistant coach, DJ Sanders, who's in the 1st base coaching box. The 0-1. Little outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Alabama in the all-white uniforms today, the white jerseys with crimson script Alabama across the chest, crimson pinstripes on both the jersey and the pants. That one's inside, 2-1. White pants and crimson socks. Ole Miss with the all-red uniforms, the red jerseys with white Rebels in block lettering across the chest outlined in blue. Red faded pants. The 2-1. Called strike, 2-2. White socks with light blue and red horizontal stripes. The 2-2 pitch. A little further outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Alabama's upcoming schedule brought to you by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with a refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. Give that to you after this pitch. Payoff pitch to Pone. That one slapped to short. The backhand by Gahalen. The throw is off the mark. It's caught by Broadfoot. I think she was going to beat it out anyway. But either way, Ole Miss has yet another runner on base here to start the third inning. Yeah, the throw pulled Broadfoot off, but yeah, they're going to give that a single. Pone was going to beat it out. So the leadoff single brings up Lexi Brady, who singled her first time up. Junior right-handed catcher from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. First pitch. Called strike. Bama hits the road for the final scheduled midweek game of the season on Tuesday, taking on Samford in Birmingham. First pitch is set for 5. We'll be on the air at 4:50 here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. The 0-1. This may be a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike. It'll just be me on Tuesday. Gray will be pulling some baseball duty. The 1-1. Called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Speaking of baseball, earlier today on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, Bama baseball was at Kentucky. And unfortunately, the Wildcats finished off a 3-game sweep over the Crimson Tide with a 10-1 victory. The 1-2 is high, 2-2. So I think everyone is just going to be done with going to Lexington this year. The 2-2 pitch. Did that hit her or did it hit the knob of the bat? I'm going to say it hit her. So Lexi Brady will head down to first on the hit by pitch. They got her on the left hand. Or excuse me, the right hand. Yeah, that definitely got her on the hand. So the hit by pitch now puts runners on first and second with nobody out for Ole Miss as now the athletic trainer for the Rebels comes out to take a look at Brady's hand. Brady will stay in the ball game, but now Ole Miss threatening. Runners on first and second, nobody out for Ainsley Furbush. She's 0 for 1 with a fly out. First pitch is a liner that will go foul into the left field corner, 0-1. Furbush, senior from Longwood, Florida. She was the starting pitcher and took the loss on Friday. Starting right fielder yesterday. Now the starting DP on Sunday. The 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's time for a scoreboard update brought to you by the Out of the Box Podcast. Check out the latest episode of the Out of the Box Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a follow at outofthebox_pod on the X. The 1-1 is a blooper that will fall foul into the Ole Miss bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This week's guest scheduled to join us will record on Monday, drop on Tuesday. Amanda Scarborough from ESPN. We'll have a lot to talk with her about. The 1-2. Checked her swing on a rise ball. They'll ask if she went. She did not go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Also be sure to check out the all-new It Just Means More Softball SEC podcast from Softball America, featuring Gray and myself live on YouTube Monday evenings at 6. Like, subscribe, and share both those podcasts. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled away. Moving in, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top 25 and SEC softball action today. Some finals already in. It was an early start. Scarborough was in Knoxville. She saw Tennessee get a 3-1 victory over Georgia to win that series 2-1. The 2-2 is to the backstop. Rise ball got past Valentine, and both runners move up. Well, the count's now full 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the wild pitch puts both runners in scoring position. Bama leads at 3-0, but that lead is precarious right now, as Ole Miss is threatening once again. Payoff pitch to Furbush. Fouled it back. So with that series victory over the Bulldogs, Tennessee has the inside track for the conference regular season championship, although Florida right there with them, both with only 2 losses in the league. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Furbush down on strikes, and there's 1 gone. Just a massive strikeout there with 2 runners in scoring position. We'll bring up the first baseman, Paige Smith. She's 0 for 1 with a ground out. Speaking of LSU, they're in the bottom of the 6th in Gainesville, and Florida has a 3-2 lead over LSU. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Trying to take that series. That's the Saturday, Sunday, Monday series. The 0-1. A little bit high, 1 ball, 1 strike. So as far as the conference standings look, it's Tennessee and Florida, and then Georgia, and then everybody else just kind of bunched up in there, including Alabama. If they can win this game here today, it'll be 6-6. The 1-1. That one's popped up, foul ground, first base side. Broadfoot, she's there. She makes the catch for out number 2. And now for the weekend, Paige Smith has fouled out 5 times. She fouled out to the catcher 3 times on Friday, and now has fouled out to first base twice. So 2 outs now for Annie Orman. First pitch. Hits the outside corner for strike 1. Orman with a fly out, 0 for 1 on the day. Junior from Myrtle, Mississippi. FGC gal. The 0-1. Little outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. South Carolina avoided the sweep in Columbia today, got a 3-1 win over Mississippi State. The 1-1, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, Kayla Beaver, a strike away from getting out of the jam yet again against Ole Miss. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Orman's down on strikes. And Kayla Beaver strands 2 more runners in scoring position for Ole Miss. For the Rebels here in the 3rd, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 left. We move to the home half of the 3rd inning. It's 3-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Alabama with a 3-0 lead over Ole Miss. The Third inning is presented by Bojangles. Download the new Bojangles app and bring the flavor to your next softball tailgate with chicken, biscuits, and fixings, all by ordering ahead on the convenient Bojangles app. It's Bo time, y'all. Cahalan, Johnson, and Dowling due up for the Tide here in the third. 2-3-4. Caitlin Riley back out for her third inning of work. Alabama got to her in the second. A 3-run homer by Kendall Clark, giving the Tide the 3-0 lead. Kinley Cahalan will lead things off. She's 0 for 1 with a ground out. Sophomore from Trussville, Alabama. Lexi Brady calls timeout, and they're going to go have a word. I'm not sure if there's a communicator problem or what the issue is, but that will be the meeting here to start things off at the third inning. Give a chance again. We'll go through the top 25 here scoreboard, college softball. Final, Clemson beat Syracuse 10-1. Already mentioned Tennessee over Georgia 3-1. South Carolina over Mississippi State 3-1. Florida Atlantic bounced back after getting hammered by Charlotte yesterday with a 5-3 victory today in North Carolina. First pitch to Kinley Cahalan. High for ball one. They're in the bottom of the 10th inning in San Marcos. Troy and Texas State still knotted up at 3. Boston U beat Colgate 6-0. Cahalan lines this one, and that's going to fall against the wall in the gap in the right center field. Cahalan rounds first, heads to second, where she'll stand up with a leadoff double, starting things off here in the third inning. Cahalan with just a line drive shot past Lassiter in center field. And Bama looking to add to the 3-0 lead, starting off with this leadoff double by Cahalan. 7th double of the season for Kinley, and that is going to be the end of the day for Caitlin Riley. Jamie Traxel coming out, talking with home plate umpire Ronald White, and she's going to make a change, a call to the bullpen for the new pitcher. We'll tell you who that is when we come back. Bama leads at 3-0 with a runner on second, nobody out here in the third. Pitching change coming up here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. With this call to the bullpen, we remind all Crimson Tide fans to stay up to date with all recommended vaccinations. Flu season is here, and COVID-19 continues to affect our community, so don't wait. Vaccinate. Caitlin Riley will give way to the new Ole Miss pitcher. And that pitcher coming in is a left-handed junior from Riverside, California, the transfer from Hawaii, Brianna Lopez. Lopez on the year with a 3 ERA, a 2-3 record. This is her 17th appearance. She's pitched 42 innings. 36 hits, 21 runs, 18 have been earned. She's walked 36, struck out 43. Opponents batting .242 against Lopez on the year. We saw Lopez come in yesterday. She pitched 5 2/3 innings of relief. Gave up 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Our first batter she faces is Jenna Johnson. She puts down a bunt down the first base line. Smith with the stop and the throw to get the out, but Cahalan moves to third on the sacrifice, and there's one gone. For Bailey Dowling. Lopez pitched well in relief yesterday after Alabama jumped on the Ole Miss starter, McKinley Thermos. We talked to Coach Murphy in our pregame interview. If we did see Lopez today, had to slow everything down as we see mostly change-ups from Lopez. First pitch is low for ball one. Yeah, 54 miles per hour there, so it's going to be mostly slow change-up spin from Lopez. And she's not a fast worker. She is the opposite of Jocelyn Brisky. She usually pitches with just a couple of seconds left on the 22nd pitch clock each time. The 1-0 is a called strike at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike on Dowling. She's 1 for 1, singled, and her pinch runner scored in the second inning. The 1-1 is high and inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Caitlin Riley went 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, no walks, and a strikeout, 29 pitches and 20 strikes. She is responsible for the runner on third base. Bama trying to add to their 3-0 lead here. The 2-1 is high, 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-0, 1 out, runner on third here in the bottom of the third inning. Bama looking to get the series sweep over Ole Miss and get back to 500 in conference play. Patrick Murphy calls timeout. Has a quick word with Bailey Dowling, and she'll set back in now. And the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. The 3-1. Low and away, ball 4. Dowling draws the walk on base for the second time today. Now runners on the corners with 1 out for Callie Hevlin. Hevlin laid down a sacrifice bunt her first time up, reached on an error, and came around to score on the 3-run homer by Kendall Clark. Continuing the top 25 scoreboard, Florida State beat Louisville 4-3 to claim that series, 2-1 over the Cardinals. First pitch to Callie Hevlin. Called strike. Oklahoma State beat Houston 10-2. Clemson sweeps the doubleheader over Syracuse 7-1. Boston U in the second game against Colgate leads at 1-0. Bottom of the fourth, Utah with a 4-0 lead over Arizona. Top of the sixth in College Station, Kentucky and Texas A&M knotted up at 0. Kentucky almost had a 7th inning comeback. Riley Smith was thrown out at second trying to stretch a single into a double to end the game with Aaron Koffel stepping to the plate. The final score yesterday was 10-9. Bottom 4 in Austin, Oklahoma with a 1-0 lead over Texas. The Longhorns got the victory over Oklahoma yesterday, snapping the Big 12 winning streak for the Sooners. Just underway, no score between Missouri and Arkansas in Fayetteville. That series tied up at 1. Washington leads Oregon 2-0. Top first in Eugene. Coming up later, Loyola Marymount and Cal. UCLA, Oregon State. Arizona State, Stanford. Virginia Tech, NC State. And Duke, North Carolina. Keep you up to date on those, as well as the national championship game in women's basketball. The big matchup between Iowa and South Carolina. The 0-1 now to Hevlin. Tried the suicide squeeze, but it's fouled off on the bunt. No balls and 2 strikes. 2:49 left in the first quarter after jumping out to a big lead. Iowa now leads South Carolina 22-15. Caitlin Clark with 13 points already in the first quarter. The 0-2, Hevlin with a line drive. That's going to fall for a base hit. Coming in to score is Kinley Cahalan, and not able to get the bunt down, but that's okay. It's an RBI single for Callie Hevlin, and Alabama leads at 4-0. Cahalan scored. Dowling to second. And that'll close the book on Riley. 2 innings, 4 runs, 3 earned. And now Emma Broadfoot to the plate. First pitch. Grounded to third. That's stopped by Rummel. She'll step on the third base bag and throw to first for a double play to end the inning. A hard hit ball down the third base line. A nice snag by Rummel will end the inning. As Emma Broadfoot asked Kayla Bro, are we sure that one was fair? But it was, and that'll do it for the Tide here in the third. But Alabama does add to the lead as they get 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. We played 3. It's 4-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field. The 4th inning is presented by Nukes. At Nukes, your food is always made to order in an open kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Visit them locally on University Boulevard or order online at Nukes.com. Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball. We roll to the 4th inning. Alabama with a 4-0 lead over Ole Miss. Due up for the Rebels here in the 4th. Bottom of the order, Rummel, DeLeon, and Starr. 7, 8, 9. Kayla Beaver back out for her 4th inning of work. Beaver so far in the ball game, 3 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. 57 pitches and 34 strikes thrown by the Beeve. Bama, 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 2 left. Ole Miss, no runs on 4 hits, 1 error, and 6 runners left on base. Delaney Rummel will lead things off. She walked her first time up. As we wait for Gray and Tao to finish their conversation with Patrick Murphy. An opportunity to take a look at Alabama softball on this date. It is April 7th, and Alabama is 10-6 all-time on this date, outscoring opponents 77-41. Bama picked up a doubleheader sweep over Ole Miss in the year 2000 on this date. Bama also got a doubleheader sweep over LSU in 2010 and a single 3-0 win over the Tigers in 2017 on this date. And Alabama last played on this date in 2019, dropping a 2-0 decision to South Carolina in Columbia. Delaney Rummel, who started off the double play to end the 3rd inning for Alabama, will lead it off for the Rebels here in the 4th. Rummel walked her first time up. Senior from Gilbert's, Illinois. Tied a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 2nd by Kendall Clark and added an extra run on an RBI single by Callie Hevlin in the 3rd. First pitch. Called strike. Again, Alabama, despite only allowing the 1 run on the weekend for Ole Miss, which was an unearned run scored, has only had 3 1-2-3 innings. I'd love to get one here in the 4th with the bottom of the order, but the bottom of the order has been on base for the Rebels today. That one's fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes on Rummel. Mentioned Alabama will hit the road for their final midweek game of the season on the schedule. Coming up on Tuesday, traveling to Birmingham to take on Samford. That one's high and tight, 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the return game of that home and home, the Tide beat Samford 11-2 in 5 innings back on March 19th here at the Rhodes House. The 0-2. And that one's lined to center on the run, and making the catch is Kristen White for out number 1. And that brings up Angelina DeLeon. 1-for-1 singled back in the second inning to DeLeon. Junior from Valley Springs, California. Fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. Then next weekend, Alabama has the Saturday, Sunday, Monday series here at home, hosting the Texas A&M Aggies. It's alumni weekend, A-Day weekend. Should be just a very exciting environment all weekend long. The 0-1 is high, 1-1. And also, we'll celebrate the premiere of the SEC storied Alabama softball, taking a look at the 2012 National Championship, which there'll be a watch party after the game on Monday. The debut. That one's low, 2 balls and 1 strike. So just a huge weekend coming up. Next weekend, Alabama hosting Texas A&M, who, by the way, is ahead of Alabama in the SEC standings. The 2-1, swing and a miss on the rise ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch, right in there for a called strike 3 on the inside edge. DeLeon's down on strikes, and there's 2 away. That's 5 strikeouts on the day for Beaver. And now Ryan Starr steps in. First pitch, called strike. SEC standings right now, Tennessee at 10-2 with their victory over Georgia earlier today. Florida at 8-2, pending the outcome of their matchup with LSU today, as that one's inside, 1-1. Texas A&M in 3rd place. They're currently 10-4. Pending their matchup with Kentucky. The 1-1, bunted at and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The surprise right now is the fact that LSU is at 8-5 and Georgia is at 7-5. Full 3 games back now, and they don't have the tiebreaker against Tennessee. The 1-2, slapped, and that will fall foul down the left field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Arkansas at 6-5. Mississippi State at 8-7, and Alabama at 5-6, along with Missouri at 5-6. So there's quite a logjam after you get past Tennessee and Florida. So it'll be a huge weekend. Alabama taking on Texas A&M next weekend. South Carolina 4-8, Auburn 3-9, Ole Miss 3-11, Kentucky 2-9. That one's a little inside, 2-2. That kind of just shows you Kentucky has fully embraced enigma status again. 2-9, their only 2 victories on the year, the 2 wins against Alabama last weekend in Lexington. The 2-2, checked her swing on one inside. They'll ask down. She did go. So that'll be a strikeout of Ryan Starr. And Ole Miss, for the first time today, goes down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left. We've played 3.5. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 4-0 Crimson Tide here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The fourth inning is presented by Nukes. At Nukes, your food is always made to order in an open kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Visit them locally on University Boulevard or order online at nukes.com. Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball. We head to the home half of the fourth inning. The Crimson Tide with a 4-0 lead over Ole Miss. Due up for the Tide here in the fourth, Clark, Johnson, and Valentine, 7-8-9 against Brianna Lopez, the second pitcher of the ball game for Ole Miss. Caitlin Riley went the first 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, no walks, and a strikeout. Lopez has gone an inning, giving up 1 hit, no runs, a walk, no strikeouts. First pitch to Kendall Clark is low for ball 1. Clark hit a 3-run homer her first time up, giving the Tide at the time a 3-0 lead. It's now 4-0 Alabama. Clark fouls that one back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Speaking of that LSU-Florida matchup, they are now in the top of the 8th inning in Gainesville. And LSU has a 4-3 lead. With the bases loaded, trying to add to it. Now the Box Podcast scoreboard update. The 1-1. Clark swings and misses there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2. Clark grounds this one to short. On the third hop, the stop is made. The throw is in time from Starr, and there's 1 away. In College Station, they're now in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. Kentucky scored a run in the top of the 7th, and they lead it 1-0. Stephanie Schoonover currently pitching a 1-hitter against the Aggies. If you're an Alabama fan, you probably want Kentucky to go ahead and finish that one off. First pitch to Lauren Johnson is in there. No, excuse me. Oh, yes, it is in there for a strike. I thought it was a strike, and then Ronald White took his time letting us know. 0-1. Johnson singled in the second. The 0-1. Johnson with a fly ball to right field on the run and catching it in fair ground is Orman, and there's 2 away. Top of the 6th inning in Austin, and Texas has taken a 2-1 lead over Oklahoma. Texas won yesterday 2-1, trying to win the series against the Sooners. The final Red River rivalry of Big 12 play. That one's low to Riley Valentine, 1-0. Valentine laying down a sacrifice her first time up. Valentine takes that for a called strike, 1-1. Bottom of the 3rd in Fayetteville, Missouri and Arkansas. Still scoreless. The 1-1. Valentine takes it high and tight, 2 balls and 1 strike. And in Cleveland, the national championship game. 6:14 remaining in the first half. Iowa with a 34-31 lead over South Carolina. That one's in the dirt, 3-1. Caitlin Clark with a mere 18 points for the Hawkeyes. (3-1) is in there for a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, nobody on here in the 4th. It's 4-0 Alabama. Payoff pitch. Valentine with a high chopper up the middle, and that's going to be, it's going to get down because the shortstop and the second baseman run into each other behind the second base bag. Not sure either Starr or De Leon would have had a throw had they been able to come up with it. They're They're going to check and make sure everyone's all right, and they appear to be. It's going to be an infield single for Riley Valentine to keep this fourth inning alive. It's a high chopper over the second base bag, and they kind of came together. They actually avoided each other for a major collision. And then we're going to see a pinch hitter come up for Alabama. And we're going to see K.J. Haney get another opportunity. Senior from Douglasville, Georgia. Haney's 0 for 11 on the season with a run scored and a walk. With an RBI and a walk. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter this weekend. First pitch. Low and away, ball one. Has a really good eye. If she's able to diagnose it, can hit a changeup a long way. The 1-0 is in there for a strike, 1-1. Lopez looks in, the 1-1 pitch. And he holds off on it, but it drops in for a called strike. They throw it back down, but Valentine's back in time. Count now, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch from Lopez in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Haney. Haney hitting for Kristen White, who was 0 for 2. The 2-2. And that is a hopper that gets over the pitcher's glove, but the throw is going to be in time from De Leon to get the out and retire the side. Alabama gets a 2-out hit to extend the inning, but can't get anybody across here in the fourth. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We played 4. It's still 4-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Alabama as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Top of the order due up for the Rebels, starting with Jaylee Lassiter. The first pitch is a called strike. Lassiter 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a ground out. Kayla Beaver back out for her 5th inning of work. Tied out hitting Ole Miss 6-4. And most importantly, outscoring them 4-0. The 0-1. Called strike. No balls and 2 strikes. The 5th inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. The 0-2 pitch. Lasser, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got her with a rise, and there's one gone. So a rough weekend continues for Jaylee Lassiter. 0 for 3 on the day. 2 for 11 for the weekend. Now we'll bring up Jaden Pone, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. First pitch. Slap foul for strike 1. Had some shenanigans in Taco Hot Sauce. Both Taco and Hot Sauce, you're supposed to stay on the warning track all the way around from foul pole to foul pole. They both decided to take a shortcut and go through the grass. But since they both did it, we'll let the results of the race stand. Taco with the victory. The 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Most importantly, that's what I picked, so I'm happy about that. Battle for the Lindsey Jones Cup here in the press box continues. The 1-1. Slap foul down third baseline. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Pone. Top of the 4th now in Fayetteville. Still no score between Arkansas and Missouri in the rubber match of that series. Bottom of the 6th in Austin. Texas still with a 2-1 lead over Oklahoma. It has gone final in College Station. 1-2 pitch to Pone. A little bit low, 2-2. Kentucky salvages the game of that series with a 1-0 victory. Complete game shutout thrown by Stephanie Schoonover. It's helpful, bringing A&M back to the pack a little bit. Speaking of which, the 2-2 pitch to Pone. That one is slapped, and that's going to be a foul ball because on the slap, it hit the bat twice. So we'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A final in extra innings in Gainesville. LSU with a 4-3 victory over Florida. So LSU evens up that series at 1 game apiece. And now the umpires are going to get together to make sure that Pone was still in the batter's box when that ball hit her bat the 2nd time, because if it wasn't, she'd be out. So Ronald White, after discussing things over with Philip Friels and Dave Reneker, will go and let Patrick Murphy know what the final decision is, and I think they're going to stick with their original call. And things are very tight in the Women's Basketball National Championship game. The 2-2 to Pone, slap foul again. 2:58 remaining in the first half. Iowa with a 41-37 lead over South Carolina. Here it's 4-0 Alabama. The 2-2 pitch. Low, and the count's full, 3-2. Payoff pitch to Pone. That one is slapped to second. Hevlin has it. The throw is wild. Getting past Broadfoot and heading now to second is Pone. Hevlin charged in, made a nice stop on the in-between hop, but had to turn her body and throw it across her body to throw to first. And it was not on target. Past Broadfoot, and Pone will take second on the error. Now Lexi Brady steps in. Brady is 1 for 1 with a single and a hit by pitch. First pitch is high for ball one. And Caleb Beaver asked for timeout. Reset the pitch clock. So that's going to be an E4 all the way for Pone. First error of the ball game for Alabama. A runner on second, one out. The 1-0 pitch to Brady. It's a chopper to third, stopped by Dowling. She looks back, the runner throws to first. Now the runner takes off, and Pone will slide in safely on the throwback by Broadfoot. But the out is recorded, and there's two gone. So Ole Miss gets the runner to third, but now there's two outs, and Ansley Furbush steps in. Furbush is 0 for 2 with a fly out and a strikeout. In the series, Ole Miss has left 23 runners on base, and they're 2 for 22 with runners in scoring position. That's one of the reasons they've only scored the one run. The first pitch is low for ball one. Considering they've only been retired in order 4 times all series long by Alabama pitching, just once today. The 1-0 comes in a bit high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes on Furbush. The 2-2. There's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 is inside, and that hitter. So Furbush will take first on the hit by pitch. Ran inside on Furbush, got her in the leg. Now she's going to be pinch run for on first with Taylor Malvin. And now Patrick Murphy comes out of the dugout, talking with Ronald White. And we may see a pitching change for the Crimson Tide as Lance McMahon looking into the bullpen. And yes, we will see a new pitcher for Alabama. We'll take a timeout, tell you who that pitcher is as we play here in the top of the 5th inning. 4-0 Crimson Tide here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. There's 2 outs. There's runners on the corners. Alabama leads it 4-0, and Caleb Beaver will give way to the new Alabama pitcher. And it is the right-handed sophomore from Fairhope, Alabama, the transfer from LSU, Ailey Johnson. We'll give you her numbers in just a moment, but first let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Haley Johnson has a 1.53 ERA and a 3-1 record. This is her 16th appearance of the season. She has 2 saves, and this is a save opportunity with a tying run on deck. Johnson's pitched 32 innings, 21 hits, 12 runs, 7 have been earned. She's walked 16, struck out 32. Opponents batting 183 against Haley Johnson on the year. And she comes in now with 2 runners on base, runners on the corners, and 2 outs for Paige Smith. Bama leading at 4-0. The first pitch right in there for a called strike. Kayla Beaver went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk and 7 strikeouts, 89 pitches, 54 strikes. She is responsible for the 2 runners on base. The 0-1 is high, 1 ball and 1 strike. So you have Malvin on first and Pone on third. That pitch drops in too low, 2 balls and 1 strike. And here, if you're Haley Johnson, you got to get that changeup in the zone for a strike. When it is on, geez, very tough to hit. The 2-1 is popped up, foul ground. Valentine will give it a look, and she'll make the catch. Riley Valentine gets the foul out behind home plate, and the theme of the weekend continues for Paige Smith. That's the 4th time that she's popped out in foul ground to the catcher this weekend, and the 6th time this weekend she's fouled out, period, and she strands 2 more runners on. So a tough weekend for Paige Smith continues, and a tough weekend for the Ole Miss offense continues as they strand 2 more runners on here in the 5th inning. No runs, no hits on 1 error, and 2 runners left on base. We stretch in Tuscaloosa. It's 4-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from the airfield. The 5th inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with a refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. We've stretched here in Tuscaloosa. Alabama holds on to a 4-0 lead over Ole Miss. Due up for the Tide here in the home half of the 5th inning. Cahalan, Johnson, and Dowling. 2-3-4. Brianna Lopez back out in relief for Ole Miss, looking for her 3rd inning of relief. Book now closed on Kayla Beaver. 4 2/3 innings, no runs allowed. First pitch to Kinley Cahalan is a called strike, 0-1. Cahalan doubled and scored in the 3rd, ground out in the 1st. It is a final from Austin, Texas. The Texas Longhorns get a 2-1 win over Oklahoma to win the series. That one's outside, 1-1. So something that virtually never happens. Oklahoma loses a 3-game series. Texas finally gets over that hump. The 1-1 is in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Top of the 5th in Fayetteville as we continue now the Box Podcast scoreboard update. No score between Arkansas and Missouri. And they're at the half in Cleveland. South Carolina outscores Iowa by 10 points in the 2nd quarter, and they lead it 49-46 at the half. 2-1, Cahalan swings and misses, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2. High and outside, and the count is full on Cahalan. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lopez looks in, the payoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3, Cahalan. Swings a little bit underneath that one to get struck out, and there's one gone here in the 5th. Now Jenna Johnson steps in. Jenna's 0 for 1 with a ground out and a sacrifice bunt. First pitch, low, ball 1. One 0's in the dirt, 2-0. Comes in high, 3 balls and no strikes on the graduate from Franklin, Tennessee, Jenna Johnson. Now besties with Dale Jr. The 3-0 pitch, right in there for a strike, 3-1. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 5th, 4-0 Alabama. Tied, looking to get the sweep over Ole Miss, which would be their 18th series sweep all-time over the Rebels in program history. 3-1 is low for ball 4. So the walk issue to Jenna Johnson puts her on first for Bailey Dowling. And Jamie Traxel is up out of the dugout, maybe thinking of making another change in the circle. When I say 18 sweeps for Alabama, a few of those include 4-game sweeps back in the inception of the league in the late 90s. He played 2-game home-and-home series. Alabama had some sweeps of those as well. So now Bailey Dowling will step in. They are going to stick with Lopez. First pitch to Dowling. Low and away for ball 1. Dowling singled in the 2nd. Her pinch runner, Kinley Pate, scored. Walked in the 3rd. The 1-0. In there for a strike, 1-1. Ole Miss has a couple of pitchers warming up in the bullpen. Ainsley Furbush and Grace Sparks. Alabama's seen both those pitchers here this weekend. The 1-1 in the dirt. Blocked by Brady. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 pitch. Dowling hammers this one. She's out in front. That's going to be a foul ball, but goodness. That was well out of here. Definitely home run distance, but not the direction. Just got to wait a split second longer on that changeup to keep that one fair. Dowling yesterday just missed a grand slam on a similar pitch. The 2-2. Foul that one away. We'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That type of hit might make Jamie Traxel tell those pitchers hurry up to get ready in the bullpen. Bama's timed up Lopez. The 2-2 comes in too high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Dowling waits on it, grounds it to second. Will not have a throw at second. They'll throw to first to get the out. Johnson beat it out to get to second. So there's now 2 gone with a runner on second for the Crimson Tide. De Leon ranging over to her right. Thought about underhanding it to second, but Jenna was there in plenty of time. Changed her mind. Threw to first. Got the out. So that brings up Callie Hevlin. Runner on second, 2 outs. First pitch. Squares around a bunt. Pulls it back. It's high for ball 1. Hevlin put down a sacrifice bunt in the second, reached on an error and scored. RBI single in the third. The 1-0 pitch. Hevlin, line drive caught at third. Leaping grab by Rummel. Steals a base hit and probably another RBI away from Callie Hevlin. Leaping grab at third ends the inning for the Crimson Tide. Alabama gets a runner on but can't get her in. Here in the 5th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. We played 5, 4-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The 6th inning is presented by the Alabama Crimson Tide Game Day Live app. Keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide Game Day Live mobile app, presented by Cadence Bank. Download now for free at the App Store and Google Play. 4 runs on 6 hits, 1 error, and 4 left for Alabama. No runs on 4 hits, 1 error, and 8 runners left on base for Ole Miss. We head to the 6th inning with Alabama holding on to the 4-0 lead. Orman, Rummel, and De Leon due up for the Rebels here in the 6th. 6, 7, 8 against Ailey Johnson. Back out now for her first full inning of relief. She came in and stranded 2 base runners in the 5th inning. Starts off this 6th inning clean against Annie Orman, who is 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. The first pitch, a little inside for ball 1. That one comes in low, 2 balls, no strikes. Ground ball foul down third base line, 2-1. Now the Box Podcast scoreboard update. Top of the 5th inning in Fayetteville. Missouri now leads the Razorbacks 1-0. The 2-1. Drops in for a called strike, 2-2. That's the pitch. If she can keep that in the zone for a strike, makes it almost impossible to hit the fast stuff, as that one's fouled away. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. That one's blooped, and that's going to fall for a base hit down the left field line. Not hard hit at all, but a seeing eye single. Leads off the 6th inning for Ole Miss. And as per usual, the Rebels have a base runner. Now we will see a pinch runner for Orman on first. That's going to be Mania Womack, the freshman from Brandon, Mississippi, making her first appearance of the weekend. And Delaney Rummel will be the batter. She's 0 for 1 with a fly out and a walk. First pitch from Johnson. High for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch comes in too high. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Rummel. Wind still blowing out. Center field, left center. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rummel badly fooled by that change. Maybe the best the best one Johnson has thrown today. The 2-2. And that one is lifted to deep center field. On the run is White. She will make the catch up against the wall and get the ball in quickly. Kristen White maybe seals a home run away from Delaney Rummel. Yes, she did. That would have been a home run had Kristen White not come up with it. But she steals the homer away and keeps Ole Miss off the board. Had a beat on it the whole way, just whether or not she was going to run out of room. But she made the catch up against the wall. And Womack stays at first. Angelina DeLeon steps in. The first pitch to her is low for ball 1. Valentine blocks it up, keeps it in front of her. Womack can't go anywhere. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. They'll throw back down to first. Womack's back in time, 1-1. White made that catch, crashing into Haley McClinney on the wall there in center field, where she made several catches similar to that in her career here at Alabama. The 1-1, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes on De Leon. The 1-2 pitch from Johnson. De Leon with a fly ball, foul ground, and it will get out of play onto the porch of the clubhouse. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch. Foul that one off into the Ole Miss bullpen. The 1-2 comes in too high, 2-2. Two-two pitch, grounded to third, but it's foul. Nice backhand to stop by Bailey Dowling, but Foul ground. Count remains 2-2. One out runner on first, 4-0 Alabama. Top of the 6th inning. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Still 2-2. Home plate umpire Ronald White goes to get some more softballs from the Bama dugout. Two. A little bit low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. One of the people feeding the softballs to Ron White was Marley Giles, who is out 2 to 4 weeks. Forearm injury. 3-2. Fouled off. We'll do it again. 3-2. And Abby Duchscher not getting the start today. No injury issues with her, but she's just been scuffling a bit as late. So Bama trying to finish off this series sweep without their regular 3 or 4 hole hitters. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. De Leon chased one high, and there's 2 away. First strikeout of the ball game in relief for Ailey Johnson, and there's 2 gone. Chase the rise from Ailey, which again, because she's been able to spot that changeup for a strike, difficult to lay off, difficult to catch up with. So now we'll see a pinch hitter for the Rebels. Jamie McKay. Pinch hitting for Ryan Starr, who was 1 for 2 with a single. Now McKay gets her first at bat of the ball game. That pitch a little bit low for ball 1. McKay batting .315, 28 of 89 with 11 runs scored, 7 doubles, a homer, and 8 RBIs on the season. Takes that one low. They throw it back down, but Womack's back in plenty of time. On the weekend, McKay is 1 for 4. He has one of only 2 extra base hits for the Rebels on the weekend. That one's fouled back. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 in the dirt, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. McKay hammers this one to deep left. On the run is Jenna Johnson. She makes a diving attempt, can't come up with it. Rounding third and coming in to score is Womack. And that's an RBI double for McKay. And Ole Miss is on the board. It's now 4-1 Alabama. Jenna almost tracked that one down, laid out on the warning track. Wasn't able to make the catch. And now Alabama is going to challenge whether or not the runner left early on first, which would be quite the bummer for the Rebels. The only thing I will say is I noticed it looks like Womack was getting really good jumps off first base. Was never called for it. Now we'll see what they say at the replay booth. And Replay Central says that Womack did not leave early. So that will go down as an RBI double for McKay. And Jaylee Lassiter now will step in. Lassiter's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a ground out. And again, looking at the replay, my goodness, Jenna almost came up with a spectacular catch. First pitch to Lassiter's in there for a strike. Now, if you're Ellie Johnson, just want to minimize the damage. Still don't have the tying run to the plate for the Rebels. Want to keep it that way, the 0-1. Lassiter pops this one up. Shallow left, calling everyone off is Johnson. She'll make the catch for out number 3 to retire the side. Ole Miss gets on the board, so they get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We move to the home half of the 6th inning. It's 4-1 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The 6th inning is presented by the Alabama Crimson Tide Game Day Live app. Keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide Game Day Live mobile app presented by Cadence Bank. Download it now for free at the App Store and Google Play. We move to the home half of the 6th inning. Alabama with a 4-1 lead over Ole Miss. The Rebels got on the board with an RBI double by Jamie McKay, pinch hitter in the 6th inning, but behind a great catch and a steal of a home run by Kristen White. Rebels only get the 1 run. Emma Broadfoot to lead things off for Alabama here in the 6th inning. Broadfoot 0 for 1, laid down a sacrifice in the 2nd, ground into a double play in the 3rd. First pitch, called strike, 0-1. The 0-1. Broadfoot loops this one. That's going to fall foul down the first base line. 0-2. The pinch runner, Taylor Malvin, is staying in the ball game. She is now in right field. Ryan Sarr has re-entered the ball game. She's back out at shortstop. The 0-2. Broadfoot fouls that one away. We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch. Broadfoot hammers this one to deep left field. That one is way back. Way gone! Patrick Murphy mentioned in our pregame interview she hits the changeup well, and she hammered that one over the left field wall. Bama gets the run back. It's now 5-1 Crimson Tide. Give that girl a big hat. Home run number 3 on the season for Emma Broadfoot. RBI number 11. And the Tide responds here in the 6th inning. And looks like that might be the end of the day for the Rebel pitcher, Brianna Lopez. Jamie Traxel will make another call to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the new Rebel pitcher after this. 5-1 Alabama in the 6th inning here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Jamie Traxel makes another call to the bullpen. The third pitcher of the ball game for the Rebels is the starting designated player for Ole Miss, the right-handed senior from Longwood, Florida, Ainsley Furbush. Furbush on the year with a .397 ERA and a 1-5 record, 16th appearance. She's pitched 42 1/3 innings, 50 hits, 33 runs, 24 earned. She's walked 17, struck out 26. Opponents batting .294 against Furbush on the year. And the first pitch to Kendall Clark is swung on and missed for strike one. Furbush did get the start in game number 1 for Ole Miss. Took the loss in 4 2/3 innings pitched. Gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. That pitch to Clark is high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Emma Broadfoot, solo homer, chased Brianna Lopez. Lopez went 3 innings. 3 hits, 1 run, it was earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout, 51 pitches and 30 strikes. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike on Clark. The 2-1. Clark with a 1-hopper to third. That one stopped by Rummel. The throw is in time for the first out of the inning. With Furbush re-entering the ball game from the DP spot. Annie Orman back in. Right field. Malvin leaves the ball game. Lauren Johnson steps in. The first pitch to her is high for ball 1. Johnson's 1 for 2, singled in the second, had a fly out in the 4th. 5-1 Alabama. Tide now out hitting Ole Miss once again, 7-6. Outside, 2-0. Both teams have committed an error. It has been the story of the weekend for Ole Miss offensively. They have left 9 runners on base. Alabama just 4. The 2-0. A little bit low, 3 balls and no strikes. Out of the Box Podcast scoreboard update. Top of the 6th inning, Arkansas with a 2-1 lead over Missouri. The Hogs trying to win that series at home. 3-0 comes in high for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk issued to Lauren Johnson. We'll bring up Riley Valentine. Valentine. 1 for 1, lay down a sacrifice in the second, singled in the 4th. First pitch is high for ball 1. The women's basketball national championship, South Carolina putting it on Iowa right now. South Carolina with a 65-55 lead over the Hawkeyes. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Called strike on Valentine, 1-1. It's been all South Carolina since Iowa going hard to left center field. 2-2, high and away, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Neither home run for Alabama was wind aided, as both of them were well out of here. Clark's home run hit about 3/4 of the way up on the scoreboard. Payoff pitch to Valentine. Runner goes. It's a ground ball to second. Sticking with it is DeLeon. She makes a stop in the throw. For out number 2, Johnson moves to second. Good play by DeLeon with the runner flashing to stick with it, and make the play. And now with 2 outs, that brings up Kristen White. White's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. She's pinch hit 4 in the 4th. No. Correction. My apologies. I believe Lauren Johnson was called for leaving early. So Johnson's out. There's 2 outs and nobody on now for Riley Valentine. A 3-2 pitch. The ground ball to short. Making the stop in the throw is Starr for out number 3 to retire the side. So that does it for Alabama here in the 6th inning, but Alabama does add to their lead. The solo homer by Emma Broadfoot. 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left. We head to the top of the 7th inning, the last chance for Ole Miss. It's 5-1 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The 7th inning is presented by Tuscaloosa Ford. We'd like to thank Tuscaloosa Ford for providing transportation for the Crimson Tide Sports Network to all of this season's away games. Visit Tuscaloosa Ford for your next vehicle purchase. Roll Tide with Tuscaloosa Ford. We head to the top of the 7th inning, the last chance for Ole Miss. Alabama with a 5-1 lead over the Rebels. Due up for Ole Miss here in the 7th. It'll be Pone, Brady, and Furbush. 2-3-4 against Ailey Johnson, looking to pick up the save. Johnson will be looking to get her 3rd save of the season. She's in a save situation because when she entered in the 5th inning, Ole Miss had the tying run in the on-deck circle. She got out of that. Allowed 1 run last inning. The first pitch to Pone is slapped foul for strike 1. Pone is 1 for 3 with a single, a strikeout, and a reach on an error. The 0-1. Outside, 1-1. But Alabama got that one right back with a solo shot by Emma Broadfoot in the home half of the 6th. The 1-1 is slap foul. Nice catch made by a Bama fan in row 3. Count moves to 1-2. 1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I do believe that's Papa Broadfoot making that catch. The 2-2. That one slapped to left. Stays in the air. The catch is made by Jenna Johnson, and there's one away. So one out now for Lexi Brady. Rebel catcher is 1 for 2. Single in the first was hit by a pitch in the third and grounded out in the fifth. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. I mentioned the Rebels will hit the road in the midweek. They play a pair of games in Ruston against Louisiana Tech, and then we'll host Western Kentucky next weekend. The 1-0. Ground ball through for a base hit in the center field. Lexi Brady, a 2 for 3 day. Tries to get something going here in the 7th inning for Ole Miss. Alabama travels to Samford on Tuesday. And then next weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, hosts Texas A&M. Alumni weekend. Ainsley Furbush steps in. First pitch to Furbush. Right in there for a called strike. Furbush is 0 for 2 with a fly out, a strikeout, and a hit by pitch. Swing and a miss. Way out in front of the changeup, 0-2. That's what that Bailey Johnson changeup can do to you. It can make you look silly. The 0-2 pitch. Hits the outside corner for a called strike 3. Furbush down on strikes, and the Rebels are down to their final strike, their final out. A very nonchalant strike 3 call by Ronald White behind home plate. But got the call, and now Paige Smith, the last chance for the Rebels. First pitch. Low for ball 1. Smith's 0 for 3 with a ground out and a couple of foul outs. The 1-0. Just misses a little bit inside, 2-0. 2-0. Change-up drops in for a called strike, 2-1. The 2-1. Back to Johnson. She makes a stop on one hop. The underhand throw in time to get Smith, and that will do it. Your final score, Alabama 5, Ole Miss 1. The Crimson Tide sweeps the Rebels here in Tuscaloosa, claiming their first SEC Series win and first series sweep of the year. For the Rebels here in the 7th inning, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. With the win, Alabama improves to 29-8 overall, 6-6 in conference play. Ole Miss falls to 21-18, 3-12 in the SEC. 5 runs on 7 hits, 1 error, and 4 left for Alabama. 1 run on 7 hits, 1 error, and 10 left for the Rebels. The winning pitcher is Kayla Beaver. Beaver is now 13-3 on the year. Caitlin Riley will take the loss. She's now 4-5, and Ailey Johnson gets the save. That's Ailey's 3rd save of the season. We'll take a timeout, come back with the Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa post-game report as Bama wins it 5-1 and claims the series 3-0 here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
is a fly ball. Deep center field back. We're gone. 3-run homer for Kendall Clark off the scoreboard, and the Crimson Tide leads at 3-0. The 0-2, Hevlin with a line drive. That's going to fall for a base hit. Coming in to score is Kinley Cahalan, and not able to get the bunt down, but that's okay. It's an RBI single for Callie Hevlin, and Alabama leads at 4-0. The 2-2. And that one is lifted to deep center field. On the run is White. She will make the catch up against the wall and get the ball in quickly. Kristen White maybe seals a home run away from Delaney Rummel. Yes, she did. That would have been a home run had Kristen White not come up with it. But she seals the homer away and keeps Ole Miss off the board. The 0-2. Broadfoot hammers this one to deep left field. That one is way back. We're gone.
That Broadfoot homer made it a 5-1 lead for Alabama, and that would be your final score as Alabama completes the 3-game sweep over Ole Miss by a final score of 5-1 here in Tuscaloosa. It's the Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa Bama softball post-game report as Bama evens up their SEC record at 6-6 with the victory and improves their overall record to 29-8, dropping Ole Miss to 3-12 in SEC play, 21-18 overall. We want to remind you that in less time than an inning, you can be saving money by applying for a mortgage at AssuranceMortgage.com. Assurance Mortgage is a proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Here are the final stats from today's ball game. We'll start with Ole Miss, who got 1 run in the 6th inning. 1 run on 7 hits, 1 error, and 10 runners left on base. Jayla Lassiter was 0 for 4. Jaden Pone was 1 for 4. Lexi Brady was 2 for 3. Ainsley Furbush was 0 for 3. Paige Smith was 0 for 4. Annie Orman was 1 for 3. Mania Womack scored the only run in the ball game as a pinch runner for Ole Miss. Delaney Rummel was 0 for 2 with a walk. Angelina De Leon was 1 for 3. Ryan Starr was 1 for 2. Jamie McKay, as a pinch hitter, was 1 for 1, had the lone RBI on the day for the Rebels. Caitlin Riley takes the loss. She's now 4-5. She got the start, went 2 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, no walks, and 1 strikeout. 29 pitches and 20 strikes thrown by Riley. Brianna Lopez went 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, it was earned, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. 51 pitches and 30 strikes thrown by Lopez, and Ainsley Furbush went the final inning. No hits, no runs, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. 14 pitches and 5 strikes thrown by her. Alabama got 3 runs in the 2nd inning, 1 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 6th for their 5 runs on 7 hits, 1 error, and 4 runners left on base. Kristen White was 0 for 2 at the plate, but had that home run stealing catch over the center field wall that really helped Alabama with the momentum in that 6th inning, even though Ole Miss scored their only run of the game in that inning. Kept it to just the 1 run. Alabama answered and came away with a 5-1 victory. KJ Haney was 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Kinley Cahalan 1 for 3 with a run scored. Jenna Johnson was 0 for 1 with a walk. Bailey Dowling was 1 for 2 with a walk. Kinley Pate as a pinch runner scored a run. Callie Hevlin was 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Emma Broadfoot 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Kendall Clark, the 3-run shot, 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run scored. Lauren Johnson was 1 for 2 with a walk. Riley Valentine was also 1 for 2. In the circle, Kayla Beaver got the victory. She's now 13-3. Went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. 89 pitches and 54 strikes thrown by the Beeve. And Ailey Johnson came in to get the save, her 3rd of the season. 2 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run was earned, no walks, and 2 strikeouts, 46 pitches, and 29 strikes. Time of the game, 2 hours and 15 minutes, 3,890. The best softball fans in the country were here to see it as Alabama completes the 3-game series sweep over Ole Miss by a final score of 5-1. Tom's final thought brought to you by DCH Health System. DCH Health System has been providing quality and compassionate health care in West Alabama for nearly 100 years. DCH is a champion for your health and proud supporters of the Crimson Tide. Here's my final thought before we wrap things up here from Tuscaloosa, and it's that really good win for Alabama. For the first time really in SEC play, Alabama was able to sustain momentum from one game to the next and complete the series sweep over an Ole Miss team that is scuffling right now, but Alabama took advantage of that and got the victory, and now they've gotten themselves back up to 500. They're in the middle to the top of the middle of the pack now in the conference, and with the series coming up against Texas A&M next weekend, you can really get yourself back in the race. Tennessee might have it wrapped up between Tennessee and Florida, might have a stranglehold on first or second, but you can get yourself back up in the top 4 in the SEC with a good weekend next weekend, and the tough start to the SEC season won't be the finish. So Alabama has the opportunity to right the ship here and continue doing so, and had a great start to that righting of the ship with this series win over Ole Miss. That's going to do it for this broadcast, the Bama Softball Postgame Report, brought to you by Fast Signs. Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa is more than fast and more than signs. Request a free quote from Fast Signs for all your business visibility needs. Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa is a proud supporter of Crimson Tide Softball. The Vice President and General Manager of the Crimson Tide Sports Network is Jim Carabin. Our CTSN live booth cam producer is Ethan Carabin, and our studio engineer has been Silas Call. For everyone here at the Crimson Tide Sports Network, I'm Tom Canterbury saying thank you for joining us as Bama gets the 5-1 victory over Ole Miss. Tune in again Tuesday as the Tide travels to Birmingham to take on Samford. First pitch is set for 5. We'll be on the air at 4:50. Until then, roll Tide from Tuscaloosa.